stories. If you like tasty beers, open up your mouth holes and open up your ears for... Booze and Brews! Booze and Brews! Everybody listen to Booze and Brews! Booze and Brews! Booze and Brews! Everybody listen to Booze and Brews!
I mean, should we... Fleabit and Varmint sounds like a name for a band.
It sounds like a really shitty punk band that you would start in college and then
maybe
be like, we're going to do this forever. And then
What's up, Scranton? We're the Flea Bitten Varmints. This is our first song. I got a flea in my dick.
Yeah.
Wait,
time out.
You have a flea in your dick? Like up the highway of dick in the middle there? There's just
straight up the urethra.
Right up dick highway, there's a flea. He's just hanging out in there. Is he also playing the band or he's
their manager?
Oh, that makes sense.
You know.
He's the parasite.
And he's also the manager. He's also the drummer.
Well, yeah, when your real drummer's too stoned to perform. Because he's on like some sort of weird bender. Because drummers are always coke addicts.
These drummers are always on drugs.
They're always on drugs.
Weird cokehead drummers. Apologies to all drummers.
Yeah, who are not drug addicts. Yeah. If you are a drug addict, you should get some help.
Yeah, seek help, guys. Seek help. Hugs, not drugs.
Hi! Welcome to another episode of Booze and Brews.
Woo, where we talk about ghost stories
and
drink some thematically appropriate beers.
Yeah.
And then apparently do PSAs about not doing drugs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but don't expect
or getting fleas in your dick.
Yeah, or
don't do that.
Making funny stories about dick fleas.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the podcast, Bob picks a winner. Engineer Bob picks our winner.
Using a highly scientific process.
Yeah.
Of whatever beer he likes better.
That honestly is what it is. I feel like
it does seem to have been pretty consistent for the past.
Well, upon listening back to them, I also feel like
you're like, my stories have been superior.
Obviously, my stories are always the best. However, he does tend to pick ones that will ring true to him as well. So, like,
he's very selfish.
Yes, exactly. So it's really like Suck Up to Engineer Bob, the podcast.
That's what it should be called.
Yes.
We're going to change the name from Booze and Brews to Suck Up to Bob and Bruce.
I've already got a logo idea, so we're good.
Speaking of logos and speaking of sucking up to Engineer Bob, just want to take a moment. Big shout out to Engineer Bob for creating both the Booze and Brews logo, which features our adorable little Foamy the Ghost, and for writing and performing our theme song. I don't know if you guys know that. That is Engineer Bob
rocking the house,
doing some excellent meddling.
Excellent Vincent Price voicing.
Very good. But yeah, big shout out to Engineer Bob. Could not do the podcast without you.
Hey, thanks, you guys.
So just remember that when scoring time comes around.
Also, can you...
Vanessa, thank you first.
Melissa's been married to you longer.
No fairsies. I can't marry him. You're already married to him. Plus, be weird. I like him a whole lot, but it'd be weird.
Think of all the times we snuggle.
Gosh.
We do snuggle a lot, dear.
Just think of that.
Which is why I put you on a harder grading scale. You have to overcome so much more. The wolf at the top of the mountain is never as hungry as the one climbing.
This is such bullshit, you guys.
No, it's a good bullshit. I'm fine with that.
Of course you're fine with it. Anyway, I'm Melissa, the angry one.
Melissa is the angry married one.
I'm the angry one married to Engineer Bob.
Vanessa is the happy unmarried one. Coincidence? I don't think so.
Wow. Points off.
Damn it, I was winning. Guys, I wish I could be married too. I'm sad and alone. I live with a cat.
You can be married to us.
I don't like cats either.
Oh, no.
True story. The first time Engineer Bob met my cat, he was like, I'm allergic. She immediately goes over, jumps up on his lap, and then he went to like fake hit her to be like, I'm going to get you, cat. And she just backed onto her back legs and raised her paw in the air like, you want to thwap me? I will thwap you right back. My cat does not take any of your shenanigans.
Yeah, your cat's pretty badass, actually. Like, I don't like cats. I like your cat.
Yeah, she's not a bad cat. So this whole podcast is going to be about my cat. I'm fine with that. She's a real good cat.
Vanessa, cats and crafts.
I
Beers,
really,
that is.
Cats and crafts.
No, but I thought we were talking about castles this week.
Yeah, that's true. So
cat is in the word castle.
I did Catskills. Did you not do that?
Wait, did you not get my email?
I actually did haunted Catskills. Is that not the theme of this week?
And it's Catskills that are haunted by kitty cats.
I did the ghosts of Hello Kitty.
What? No! Bob, don't die.
Oh no,
Catskills really got me. I can't-
Yeah, the theme of this week is haunted castles.
That's right.
Which we dove into with reckless abandon.
Oh, yeah.
And decided haunted castles are the fucking shit,
They're
man.
the best.
There are so many haunted castles. They all look amazing. A lot of them you can go visit and stay at or go on haunted tours of.
Yes. And in Europe, which, is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Because Europe, huge, tons of history.
Old
so
shit.
old. Like, mine was built 800 years ago. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
Castles. And so much fun. We're probably going to do part 2.
Yeah, we were texting earlier in the week being like, we need to do a castles part 2.
Yeah.
Like, there will be more castles
Parte dos.
in the future of this podcast.
Sí.
Mexican castles.
Spanish castles. Castillas.
Sorry.
I don't know where that goes.
I don't know. I tried to make
Booze
it
and
fancy in
Brews
French.
International.
Internacional. All right. Anyway, I'm done now.
Anyway, so yeah, haunted castles. Castles inherently look creepy.
Yeah.
And I will say, in diving into this and trying to find the right castle, and I watched a bunch of videos and read a bunch of articles about 25 most haunted castles, and there were 2 that were good, but I couldn't decide between the 2. I was like, both of them are solid. Neither one of them is singing to me. And then I read one more article and I found my fucking castle, and it was just, when you know, you know. I was just like, this is it. This is my perfect castle.
I hear you. I had the same thing.
Yeah.
I read one sentence and I'm like,
Yeah.
done.
I
So are we
also-
saying yes to the castle?
We
Yes,
said yes,
yes.
to the castle.
My early research into this, my initial thought was, I'm going to do fucking Castle Bran, the Dracula castle.
Hell
I'm going to
yeah.
fucking do that. So it took 5 minutes of Googling to discover Castle Bran is not where Vlad the Impaler lived. It's not even where the Count of
Dracula
that area lived. It's just a different castle that sort of looks like what the castle that's described in Count Dracula is, the way that it's set geographically, up on a hill and there's a lake underneath it. That's why they say it's Dracula's castle. But it really has zero ties to Dracula.
such
And the
bullshit.
ghost stories, super weak sauce.
Oh,
So I said, boo to you, Dracula's castle.
fuck you, you
Then I
bloodsucker.
went down a path of Frankenstein's castle. Also some bullshit. Boo to you, Frankenstein's castle.
That's
know what,
because you took
Mary?
monster movies.
Okay,
Look,
but Mary
vampires
Shelley,
are not ghosts.
but you never know. Mary might have had an experience at Frankenstein's castle.
Yeah, I
Bob.
just thought it's
Do
a
you
creepy
know?
castle. There's going to be some ghosts sprinkled in.
There has to be at
I
least a
just
ghost.
went for some ghosty, some sort of creepy supernaturally thing. There'll be a ghost. I'll focus on the ghost.
But then we can also get our
Fucking
smart.
judge my. I don't judge. This is an episode where I get mad at Bob again. This is happening so early on. I pick what feels right to me. It's my story.
Yes. Don't get all mad at me. You're angrily. You are
I was
aggressively.
angrily hand gesturing at Melly.
I agree with
And then Melly's just staring back at me like a wounded puppy. Why are you mad at me now? I don't know.
And
why
I
I'm-
was all smiles. I'm like, this is great.
Okay. I don't know why I'm angry. I'm gonna drink
some
I'm
beer.
gonna drink some beer.
Take the edge off.
It'll make you happy.
I apologize. Coming in real hot this episode.
Maybe it's because you were without power for 16 hours yesterday.
Yeah, oh
this
my
is
gosh.
just residual rage from yesterday.
Yeah, maybe.
I bet.
That beer is interesting. We'll get to that. Sorry, first sip of the beer, and it does not taste what it smells like.
Yeah, it smells real good.
And now Bob's making a weird face.
Bob-
But yeah, Los Angeles is flooded. And it's really the end of days. There are
Yeah.
freeways turning into rivers. Mountains are falling down. Giant sinkholes are swallowing cars.
Multiples.
It's
Yeah, the street right by our house just went, hey, this is a nice minivan. I would like to eat
He
it.
said,
Nope.
you so tasty.
And then there was the street where they were like, the tree goes, oh, I'm all done standing up. I'm going to fall over. I'm going to take this electrical wire with me, fall in a car, electrocute the driver, and kill him.
Oh my God, that is some Final Destination shit.
That
right
is.
Yeah.
You
Like
know,
that man,
that
I'm
is like,
sorry.
you shouldn't have got off the airplane, man. That death was coming for you. There was no avoiding that.
Just stay
Stay
home.
on the roller coaster. Why have I seen all of those movies? I did, true story, I did spend Valentine's Day. This is Vanessa, the non-married one. I did spend Valentine's Day going to see the new Rings movie in a movie theater 100% by myself. I was literally the only one in the theater. I went to the ArcLight. The guy came out to like do his little like, this is the movie you're seeing. This is the runtime. And he's just staring at me the whole time. And then he was like, I mean, I'm supposed to tell you to like put your phone away, but if you're the only one in here, I don't care. It's like, cool, dude. If I'm the only one in here, can we turn the sound down? Because it's going to be way too fucking loud for me. It always is. And he was just like, yeah, that's cool. So I watched a movie by myself with the sound at a very good level.
Power you hold over that
I
ArcLight
know.
employee.
It was one. He had an audience that he could please 100% by doing one thing. 100% of that audience was satisfied with the sound level of the movie.
God.
Yeah. Also, seeing horror movies in a completely empty theater is real scary. There were points in the movie where I was looking behind me because it's like surround sound, so the sound comes from all around you, and I would be like, I know there's someone back there, but it sounds like someone's back there, and people are dying. The poor gentleman from The Big Bang Theory has died terribly in this movie. Yeah, spoiler alert, there's one of the guys from The Big Bang Theory is in this movie. If that doesn't pull you out of the movie, I don't know what does.
Unless you are into revenge, like killing porn like that, in which case go see it if you want to see them die.
Yeah, do you want to see...
Like how Paris Hilton died in that one movie, and everybody was all excited about it because she got like axed in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, I would watch that movie. I don't know what that movie is, but I would watch it.
I think like Chad Michael Murray's in it too.
Probably seen it. Is this like House of Wax?
Yes, it
I
is.
have
It is
seen
House of
this. Yep. I like horror movies. It's fine. It's always been Valentine's Day, watching Samara rise from the dead, murder a bunch of college kids. It's cool.
Love, you guys. It's true love.
Yeah, true love. Yeah.
Murder.
We kicked Valentine's Day's ass by going to
did.
Mendocino Farms,
Yep.
which is a local sandwich place
Yep.
for our romantic dinner.
They do have delicious curry couscous there.
They
though.
really do.
But I got home late. So Bob had
Oh.
last minute appointment thing. He got home a little bit late. I got home a little bit late. So at that point you're like, oh, let's just get a sandwich. Fuck it.
Yeah.
And then he gave me my nice little new present.
Yeah.
And I gave him candy.
Yeah. He bought her an Apple Watch.
I bought him candy.
She bought him candy. I guess we know who wins that love equation.
Bob.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm doing pretty good here today, you guys.
I do love you though.
Yeah.
I
So
know.
thumbs up.
I know.
Yeah. We were thinking
you, dear.
also, since Valentine's Day came and went, we were like, we should have done like Ghost Lovers or something like that. We should have done something
Romeo and
thematic around Valentine's Day. So, which got us thinking we're going to try and do more themes that fit the season or whatever it is. So next weekend is the Oscars, which is a big thing here in Los Angeles. So we're going to do like haunted Hollywood stories for next week, which I think is fun. And I think both of us
both have
already
our
know
story.
what we want to do. Because when I suggested it, she was just like, done. It's like, cool.
Yep. I have my one thing, which I was like, yes, I am all about this. And you had yours, which is not the same as mine, which
not
never
the same.
happens.
Yeah. Yeah, we always want to do the same thing.
Yeah, like you read my castle and you're like, yeah, I do that. And then
yeah, it's funny because I was looking through all the castles and I just looking at a list of them and I was like, well, this one obviously. And then I was like, Melly, what country's your castle in?
And I told her, I was like, well, it's here. And
then I was like, yeah, that's a good one.
yeah, real good one.
Pick a different one.
Real
Melly
good one.
benefits from choosing her haunting earlier in the week.
I
than
do.
me. I normally like Thursday or Friday. I'm like, oh, fucking look into this now.
By Tuesday, I'm like, nope, I'm going to start. I need to get my mind off of any like, you know, if like my day-to-day is going kind of shitty, I need something to make me happy.
Yeah.
This makes me happy.
You dove into it last week.
I was so excited.
On the same day. Like we did the podcast,
And
then we went to the breweries, did the beer nugget, which is a really fun little listen if you guys haven't checked it out. 0 ghosts, all the beer.
Yeah.
Also, I had quite a bit of beer.
A lot of beer.
And
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah. Thank goodness for Melly, who's like the mom of that podcast.
Yeah, that was real good, dear.
Brought us all back together where we needed to be. Reminded you we were in a car.
Yeah, and had driven there.
And had driven there.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't driving. But so you got home from that day and immediately dove into castle research.
I was pumped. And
Yeah.
then when we went wine tasting the next day, I was all about it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Good times. But yeah, haunted castles are super fun. So I'm going to go in. I'm diving in, guys. I'm first this week.
Sploosh.
First this week.
That was you.
Sploosh.
Okay, that was her diving in.
No, I don't want to make a sploosh noise. Please choose another sound effect for me.
No, that's a Bob and Melissaism.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's also a weapon in Skyrim, which you would probably know.
Oh, no, I don't know that.
It's okay.
All right. Thugga.
There it is. Done.
Guys,
Walk.
I don't know
You
if
have
you
now-
guys know this about me, but I am the Duvakeen, so there's that.
True story. Bob is two.
I am also the Dovahkiin.
Son of a bitch. It's like Highlander. There can only be one.
Uh-oh.
Which one are you, Sean Connery?
This is not a video game podcast.
or a Highlander
I
podcast?
will talk about video games for an hour and a half, but that's not what this is. All right, guys. I'm going in.
do it.
Sploosh.
My castle is... Drum roll. You literally cannot make up this fucking name. It's Chillingham Castle.
Yes.
Which is in England.
Yes. Excellent. Chillingham.
Chillingham.
It's like they
Chillingham.
It chills you. It's chilly. Chilly with ghosts.
Or no heat, and it's just cold.
Yeah, that's true. It is also like a drafty castle. So this castle it was built originally in the 1100s. It was a monastery before it became a castle. It became a castle during the 1200s because it is pretty much right on the border of England and Scotland, who spent a large chunk of the 1200s through the 1400s just beating the shit out of each other. So to have a like military point right just over onto the England side, but like able to get over into Scotland, became a good like tactical position for them. So during the in 1298, King Edward I, who was king of England,
He was the
at
first
that point,
Edward.
He was the forever in the history of
in
Edwards.
the history of time.
Yeah.
Number one.
He was, so he made, they're now doing a hand gesture.
We were dancing.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Hand gesture dancing.
We're all done.
So King Edward made Chillingham Castle his sort of spot. It's where he was like based during a lot of his warring with the Scots. Funny side fact, one of the warring things that they did that was a good burp. That was a good burp.
That's my
Engineer Bob.
monster voice burp. Next one, we'll go into the microphone for you.
So during this warring, one of the things that they went over into Scotland to do was to kill William Wallace. That is launched the attack that killed William Wallace.
Oh, hell yeah.
Who was the fucking Braveheart dude.
Fucking Braveheart.
Yeah. So, so they were always housing troops there. They were constantly sending troops over into Scotland. They were also always being attacked by Scottish people who would always lose, and then they would just fucking take all those people prisoner and throw them in the dungeon. So just so many angry Scottish people.
Not wearing any pants.
Yeah.
No
just
pants.
in the drafty old castle.
Oh, no wonder they died.
Freezing the fucking nuts off down here.
I wish I'd worn pants.
William Wallace sent us over the mountain without any bloody pants.
Why
The cunt. Shite.
Why didn't he wear a shirt? It's fucking cold. Freezing my balls off. So they fought until 1617 was when when they finally got King James, who became the first king that like was both of British and Scottish heritage, and so he united the two countries. So they fought for a solid 300 years. And then it kind of wasn't used for a chunk, and then it was used again during World War II. The Brits used it as an army barracks, which, and so they moved a bunch of, servicemen in there, and they didn't have a lot around them because it's all sort of like cattle land around them. It's not like farmland. So they sort of just tore shit up in this castle. They like took down walls. They pulled up all the wood paneling to like burn it for fuel because there isn't a lot of woods around. So they sort of just like shit all over this castle and made it all crazy and shitty.
Like, this is at this point 800 years old, built in the 1100s.
Exactly. Well,
fuck you.
In their defense, there's a lot of shit that's 800 years old in Britain.
That's true.
So they were just like, whatever.
They were looking for more of an open floor plan.
Yeah, it was more
Literally open floor, no floor.
Homes on castles kind of thing.
It was like they were college kids in a dorm room. That's how they treated this fucking castle.
Oh, okay, that's different.
Yeah. So then
cum stains everywhere.
Oh, jeez.
So gross.
That's-
So early with the cum jokes this episode. So it laid sort of not in ruins, but like in a large state of disrepair until the 1980s. And then some rich muckety muck family who like had ties way back to like the Greys who used to originally own and built the castle, bought it back and they have refurbished it. And now it is glorious, like resplendent, just as it was in the 1290s when King Edward was there. And they do, it's a hotel, so you can stay there. They have restaurants. I will tell you what, there were two big points that sold me on this castle. The first one was that there's a video on YouTube that I assume is from the 1980s where this dude who bought the castle is talking about how you should come and get married there and how it's better than all the other castles because it has ghosts. And if you want ghosts at your wedding, then you can come back on an anniversary and the ghosts will remember that you got married there. And he's just like, they're happy ghosts and they're so happy and they'll come to your wedding. Doing more research into the castle, they're not happy ghosts.
Oh no.
that was a PR spin for
False.
Sure.
False advertising.
False advertising. But this video, which it looks like it's the 70s, I would bet it's the 80s because the castle already looks nice. But he's just some old man like talking directly into camera with the castle in the background, just being like, yeah, the ghosts will come to the wedding and they won't try to kill you at all. Very happy ghosts. They're so happy to be here. They're the happiest ghosts in Britain.
Okay, if you are a ghost, you are probably not happy, which is why you are still here.
Yeah.
That's the exact opposite of a ghost.
Yeah, or you're confused. I feel like those are the two kinds of ghosts.
Yeah.
They're the like, I'm angry I was murdered ghost, and they're the I forget that it's not my job to clean this bathroom anymore ghosts.
Yeah.
Like those are
No.
the two kinds of ghosts. No. So there's a lot of the first one, the former, in this castle. And in this area of England, sort of right next door, there's another castle called Chillingham Castle, which is now completely in ruins because it was burned to the ground because it was there was a woman who was like a local healer who was accused of being a witch, and so they killed her, and then she haunted the castle so hard that eventually they just burned the castle down.
I can't fix it.
It was like salting the fields and we fucking leave and it's your castle now, bitch. So people will go to this castle. You can walk around the ruins. It actually looks really pretty, the Google images I saw. And they say almost like it's very common for people to report like pulling on clothing. Like as people are walking around, it'll feel like someone's tugging on the back of your shirt or the back of your dress or something. And they're like, oh yeah, that's her, being like, get the fuck out of my castle. But that's next door neighbors. So that's the next door neighbors. That's what this neighborhood is like. Yes.
You should be a real estate agent.
Everything was great until the witch ghost moved in next door. Property values took a shit.
Yeah.
I would hate to be the real estate agent.
So there are four main stories of the castle that I'm going to focus on. So I'm going to start with the least and work up to the reason I chose this fucking castle.
Dead children.
Obviously, yes! It's going to be dead children. So the first one is there is a ghost of a witch at Chillingham Castle. They have their own ghost of a witch. I don't know where she came from. I don't know why she was murdered there. They did murder a lot of witches there. They just murdered a lot of witches everywhere in Britain, apparently. They just were like, you a witch? Murder.
I'm going to kill you over here.
So
this looks cute.
much murder. So there is, in one of the rooms in the castle, there's a portrait of this witch that was killed at Chillingham Castle. And apparently she has refused to leave. She stays in the castle. She haunts the castle, but she protects the castle. So she will curse you if you steal something from the castle. And her photo is sort of above a bureau. And then on the bureau are things which people have stolen and then brought back with letters being like, I'm sorry, stop cursing me.
Whoa.
Yeah, so there's like multiple like pieces of evidence there being like,
Shit.
oh, in the 1920s, someone took this like umbrella because they thought it would be funny. And then so much terrible things happened to them. And so they came all the way back to be like, I'm sorry, Ghost Witch, take the umbrella back.
Stop killing my
Stop
dog.
cursing me.
God.
So that's the first ghost. The second ghost is of Lady Mary Berkeley, who they call the Tragic Lady. And she lived there in the early 1700s. So she was the wife of Lord Grey. So the Greys were the original family of the castle. They lived there for a really long time. So her husband married her, had a child with her, then suddenly decided, your sister's real hot.
No!
And so her sister, Henrietta,
Fuck her too.
Yeah. He ran off with her, which was quite the scandal.
I imagine.
He was eventually like charged with, not with abandoning his wife, but with seducing the wife of his sister's, the sister of his wife.
Douchebaggery too. Christ.
So he ran
You've been
off.
charged with seduction and douchebaggery. How do you plea?
Guilty.
Well,
Oh, all
I
right.
mean,
That was easier than I thought it would be.
I suppose. I mean,
Case closed.
that's what I did.
So he abandoned her in the castle. He gave up his family estate. That's how much he wanted away from this bitch. That's how much he wanted to fuck her sister.
Gosh.
She must have been real good looking.
Dolphin vagina.
Dolphin vagina, rad boobs.
Yeah, just labia made of gold, golden labia. So she lived in the castle. She died in the castle. And people never see her, but they get a sense of her. They get a sense of like, so she apparently after her husband left her, she would just wander around the castle being like, is he coming back? Where is he? Just kind of like looking for him. And that's
He's
what
in your sister, B.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Yeah. He's fucking knuckles deep in sister over there. In gross 1700s vagina. He's just fucking
I just
diving for pearls over
Merkin.
there. Merkin. So they don't see her, but they get a sense of her, and it travels around the castle. So they think she's still wandering the grounds. So they'll like hear a sort of wail, like a low, sad wail. They'll get a sort of feeling of like sadness and uneasiness, and shit gets real cold. So, and they can like follow it throughout the building. It moves around. So they think that is the ghost of her, even though no one sees her. They think that is the ghost of her
As she
she's
wanders the
walking around.
grounds.
Yeah.
Wondering where her husband is gone.
Yeah.
That's the. Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's gross.
There was one story. So there's a portrait of her in the nursery in the castle. And there was one story about some family who was staying there who said that their kids, who did not know the castle was haunted, said that the woman and the lady woke up and crawled out of the painting. So they're like, maybe she is there. She just lives in the painting.
Like Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Like, you know how they got the people who live in the paintings?
I was like, I don't see that. No, now I get it. But so yeah, so I don't know that that's true. They definitely have multiple instances of like the cold spot walking around.
Damn.
And then sort of the most famous ghost of the castle is the ghost of the Blue Boy, or the Radiant Boy is what they call him. And basically there was a young boy who worked in the castle. And he was like cleaning up the like Lord's rooms or whatever.
I'm imagining him cleaning out the like.
Chamber pot.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
he like worked.
I said toy. I was
he like the desks and stuff. He was like a fancy boy. He was like a young
Oh.
fancy boy.
God damn.
He's not a filthy
That's
dirt
why
boy.
he's a radiant boy.
I was like fancy radiant. I
he's a-
imagine him in like, hello.
Yeah, lots of flounces and ruffles. And
Some
so
rouge
he
on his
was cleaning
cheeks.
out the desk one day. He stumbled upon paperwork that proved that the Lord of the Castle was conspiring against the current Queen of England. And so he like had the papers. Then the Lord found him with the papers.
Oh, dude, you
and
gotta
in
be
order to
sneakier.
stop him from talking, had him fucking walled up alive inside the castle. Yeah, in this. So then there are stories of this room. It's called the Pink Room. It's one of the bedrooms. It's he was walled up in a hallway, sort of right adjacent to the Pink Room. Jesus. And people who would come to visit the Pink Room, stay in the Pink Room, say that right at the stroke of midnight, they'll hear like this crazy scream. And then they'll see like a blue orb or a blue halo that will eventually like manifest itself into the ghost of a little boy who sees you and then runs away. Like he's trying to run away for freedom.
Jesus Christ.
What's crazy about this is they were doing renovations on the castle. I forget the year, at some point in the 1900s. So like recently, they were doing renovations in the castle. They went to redo that hallway.
No.
Inside the wall, they found a skeleton of a young boy and rags of blue clothing.
Oh my God.
So it was like this legend that they were just like, nah, dude, that's him. And then after they found him, the hauntings decreased quite a bit. But then in the 1980s, when it sort of opened as a hotel, and now there are people staying in that room all the time, they say it's like upticked back, and like electronics don't work as well in that room as they should, and stuff like that. But yeah, like they literally found a brick. They bricked up some poor fucking kid, and the skeleton had like blue rags, so he was in blue, which is what people see him in. Ugh. And there was like remnants of a bunch of papers at his feet. Like he was bricked in with the offending paperwork.
Oh man.
Yeah, and he was just trying to run away because he doesn't want to live in a fucking wall.
Oh,
child murder number 1.
Yeah,
Wow.
Do you know how big this room was?
The room that they bricked him up in?
Yeah, they bricked him up in.
No, they literally just like,
Pushed
you
him in the
stand
hall?
against that wall, I'm going to fucking put bricks in front of you.
Oh my God.
Like, it's not
But like they had the mortar. Like, you know how long he was sitting there just watching this guy with one brick.
I don't know.
Puts down the mortar.
You try to keep
Next
like
brick.
I would keep fucking with him to be like,
It's
no,
the cask of
fight or
Amontillado.
flight. Da, da, da,
Like,
Yeah,
right
dude.
there. Yeah. And he's like some little kid. I wonder if they like drugged him and then put him in there, or if maybe they murdered him and then walled up the body. There's no way to know at this point. The legend is that they walled him up alive. Solid burp.
Thank you.
Solid
Hang
burp.
on.
Oh God.
Oh.
That first one was almost vomit like.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you had to work for that one.
No, I didn't. It just happened that
Anyway,
way. That was really
that's
gross. I won't do
terrible.
it again.
Yeah, so that's the Blue Boy. That's sort of the most well-known ghost, the ghost that they see the most often.
It's terrible.
Okay. All of this sprinkles of ghostiness. Now, I flip the page of my notebook. Now we get into what drew me to this fucking castle. 'Cause I don't know if you know this about me. I love me some fucking torture, man. Like, you tell me a story about how people were tortured to death, and I'm just like, that's how you make a fucking ghost. You torture someone to death.
You make sure their death sucks.
So much death. I don't like a torture porn, sort of a horror movie. Not into that. Don't want to watch people be tortured. Want to hear about ghosts that were tortured to death. Yes, so much in my alley. So now let me tell you about John Sage, who they also called John Dragfoot. So he lived there in the late 1200s. So when the time that King Edward was there, in the time that they were having all the crazy wars with Scotland, he fought in the British military. He was a bigwig. He esteemed himself in military service. He was sort of like a hero. And then he took a spear to the leg. That's why they called him John Dragfoot, because he permanently injured him and he had to drag one foot behind him. Melly has a question.
Yes, dear. I know where this is going.
Was he an adventurer
Yeah,
once?
until he took an arrow to the knee.
To the knee.
No. He took a spear to the leg.
Thank you. I'm done. I got my Skyrim.
Good pull with the Skyrim joke, though. A lot of Skyrim this episode.
I'm done. All right, next.
So he couldn't do military service anymore because he's injured. So then King Edward said, what do you want to do? And he was like, you know what I'd love to do? I'd love to be your torturer at the castle. Because castles had torturers. They were like the castle torturer, like the castle chef.
You gotta be...
Or the castle prostitute. I imagine that was a job too. So yeah, he was a castle torturer. So this was a job he was like, I think I'd be good at this. And he was right. he really found his
calling?
niche.
Yeah.
And he just poured himself into his work. He loved it so much, and he was so good at it. So in the time that he was there as castle torturer, he tortured over 7,000 people to death.
Wow.
There were times when warring was very bad. He was torturing up to 50 people a week to death.
Just does not sleep.
Think about a serial killer. 7,000 people.
Ted Bundy's just rolling in his grave, wishing he killed more people.
Was such a sociopath, and he just lived in the right time. He got himself the right job.
There was no
and he just
international court.
Just fucking Christmas and his birthday all wrapped up into one little torture nugget.
That's why with these crazy people now, we don't have jobs for them.
Exactly.
We got to go back to the Geneva Convention and get look, torture's not so bad because
Like
it gives these crazy people a job.
Yeah. No, or not.
No, we're not.
Maybe we don't want to
Job
do that.
creation.
I
That's what
know.
I'm talking about.
I appreciate where you're going.
No,
I'm
Bob.
going to veto that. I'm not going to vote for that.
Hard no. That's a hard no.
Yeah. So John Sage,
Trying.
it said that some of his favorite tortures were eye gouging. He's a big fan of gouging out the eyes. He also loved the boiling pots, which is what he would do is he would put you in a pot of boiling water and just cook you into person soup.
Oh, God.
He would just cook you into person soup to death. If he maybe didn't want person soup that day, he would just put you in a giant, like, person-sized bird cage and then hang you over the fire until you cook it all up.
Oh,
So it was
God.
either, like, person soup or, like, person barbecue.
Low and slow.
Is what he was doing. He also built in,
Good smoke ring.
it's called an oubliette, which is basically like a tiny dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a room that was probably used for storage before fucking John the Masochist Sage moved in. But it's basically like a tiny storage room. And people that he didn't think he could get information out of. So they would take whole families. Like, they would round up whole families of Scots, and they would try and, like, get information out of the dad, maybe try and get some information out of the mom. If there's, like, an older kid, or maybe the mom just doesn't have any information, they just toss them in the oubliette, and they just starve to death or die of exposure or whatever it is.
Oh, my
It's
God.
just a giant pit full of people who have already died from being in there.
Oh.
And then people who are slowly dying. And then you just fucking moved in. There's a bunch of ghost stories about the oubliette is accessible from the torture room. There's a torture chamber, like, where he did all his torturing. You need a whole room. If you're going to torture that many people.
Oh, yeah. If you're gonna make a profession out of
you
it.
got to commit space to
Oh,
that.
for
you
sure.
know, you got to give up the game room for a torture room if you're going to do 50 tortures a
You
week.
can just add on to the back of the castle.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, exactly. They
Just
were
need to make
building
a
out that
decision.
castle.
Man cave, torture chamber.
Torture chamber. Always go with torture chamber.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's literally like a grate in the floor, which you just pick up the grate, throw a person in, put the grate back down. Like, that's how you accessed the room. So people will say,
and Sarah and Hoggle are down there, and they're no.
No, this is
No,
labyrinth.
no
dear.
labyrinth?
It's no
Okay.
labyrinth.
the power of
I'm gonna go back to this beer then.
Who do you do? That was me singing the labyrinth.
I was about to start singing.
The power of the babe. Oh, David Bowie.
Oh, David Bowie.
Saw my baby.
Because it hurts like hell.
So people will say that while they're, like, on a tour of the castle and they're in the torture room, they will see a little, like a girl, not little, like 12-year-old girl, who, like, puts her fingers around the grate and pushes her face up to the grate, and people will be like, oh my God, there's a person in there, and they'll go over, no,
No, there ain't no person in there.
There's a ghost of a little girl
Trying to
who's
get the fuck
still
out.
fucking stuck there. She can't get out. She's stuck in death in this fucking little room, like,
With other dead people.
dungeon under a torture chamber. So, John Sage did a bunch, fucking torture, did a bunch of terrible, terrible shit. Eventually, there was a time when they had sort of made a truce with Scotland. And so they were like, we're not going to fight anymore. And so King Edward said, John, I need you to take all the prisoners that we have and let them go. We're going to send them back to Scotland. It's like part of this peace treaty. So just let everyone that's, like, there and, like, not dead already or not on their way to death, anyone that's not half cooked, let them go. So John was like, okay, Kingy, I, like, hear you. No,
I disagree.
Not
No,
gonna do that.
you're not taking my job.
No. So what
That's
I'm
what
gonna
I'm saying.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take everyone who is left in the dungeon and the torture chamber. So these are all, like, the adults. I'm gonna tie them all to each other. I'm gonna take them out into the courtyard of the castle, and I'm gonna burn them alive.
Oh my God.
In one giant person bonfire of all these Scots. Now, the children of these families
What the fuck?
weren't kept in the dungeons because they weren't tortured. They didn't have any information. They were kept in, like, a separate room in another part of the castle, which overlooked the courtyard.
Oh God.
So these children can see, can hear,
And smell.
and can smell their parents
Being burned alive.
burned alive.
Jeez.
In mass.
But by a torturer who's basically having a temper tantrum.
Yes.
If I can't do it myself the way I want
Yeah.
to do it, I'm gonna
just
kill them
gonna
all
burn 'em
now.
all.
Yes, this is the
kill them all.
12th century equivalent of I'm gonna take my ball and go home. Like,
Yeah.
that's what he's doing. So then he did all of this. The kids are, like, going fucking crazy, obviously.
Jesus.
So John said, you know what? I didn't think this through, because now all these kids are gonna grow up and they are
No,
gonna be
he
so
didn't.
fucking mad at me. He's like, it's cool. I got this. So he just grabbed an axe.
Oh, God.
Went upstairs to the room where all the children were and just started fucking hacking away. And he killed all of the children in that room after they had to watch their parents be horrifically murdered in front of them.
This guy's
He was good at his job.
He was committed. He was definitely committed. So
That's what I look for in an employee.
Yes. So the king then a little bit cross
Little
with
mad.
John,
Little mad.
little cranky, not mad enough to like fire him or like punish him.
He got
but
the
he
job
was just
done.
like, look, buddy, you got to rein it in.
He's like, look, you're a loose cannon. That's why you're the best.
We don't have a need
You
for
need
a
to
lot
stop.
of torture right now, so you got to find yourself another hobby. So then what John did is he got himself a girlfriend.
It's just what you need.
Old lady Dragfoot.
Who maybe not lady, like
Oh.
like a girlfriend, not wife, not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was like she's from a really wealthy, well-to-do, powerful family, and she was just at court because that's where the king was. So that's where she was like a lady in waiting, and she just, I think, was a little bit of a sick motherfucker and said, you know who I want to have sex with? Old Deathy McGee over there, like that guy right there, is getting me all wet the downstairs. I'm gonna date him.
Thought of
She's like
murdering.
leaning over to the other lady. She's like, which is the one that killed all the children?
Yeah.
I like that one.
So they started dating, started fucking in the torture chamber because
Wow.
they're
What you do?
obviously both into that. So
This
obviously,
is clearly the first draft of 50 Shades of Grey.
yeah, the better draft of 50 Shades of Grey.
I would have read this
argue.
one.
Yeah. So they're fucking in the torture chamber. I think they're into a little bit of like some dirty stuff. Obviously,
Little BDSM.
So things got a little bit out of control.
Gouged her eyes out because that was his favorite.
While
No.
he was fucking her on the rack, so she's like laying on the rack while he's fucking her, also like doing a little choking game, accidentally chokes her to death, and she dies.
Oh.
Fucked her to death in the torture chamber.
Oh.
So then her dad, who's like a rich, powerful noble, is just like, are you kidding me? He killed all these Scottish people that we were supposed to let go. Now he's murdered my daughter. He has to go. You have to kill him. And still the king was like, I don't know.
He's like, look,
He had some dirt on the
she
kid.
knew
You know it.
who she married. You knew who she married.
They weren't-
What did you think he was going to do?
They weren't married. It was his girlfriend.
Oh, you said that before, and
yeah,
it didn't.
not married. Yeah, listen to me, Bob. See, this is me yelling at you.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to. I'm going to continue with my story that they were married.
No, they this noble lord guy says, "Look, I have a bunch of fucking army troops, military power. If you don't kill him, I'm gonna fucking march on this castle, and I'm gonna kill every single fucking one
will
of you."
kill him.
And the king thought about it. Didn't really have the troops. He had just finished this like huge campaign against the Scots. He was like, we don't have the people. We don't have the resources. We can't do it. I'm so sorry, John Sage. I'm going to have to put you to death.
I'm gonna have to put you
don't have
down.
another option. He did not want to do it. Like, he wanted this guy to stay in his service. I will say, I get it. That's a good guy to have on your side.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good guy to be on team you. Yeah. So he was like, all right, we're going to have to kill you. So we're going to hang you. We're going to hang you in a part of the castle called the Devil's Walk.
Oh.
It is such called the Devil's Walk because in the early days when it was a monastery, the monks used to accuse women of being witches, murder them, and then hang their entrails from all the trees along this Devil's Walk. So just like Christmas with, like esophagus and small intestine, decorations on all the trees.
Delicious.
And that's why it's called the Devil's Walk. So they said, this seems like a great place to murder this crazy torturer man. So they go to hang him. And apparently, as was popular to do in the time, when someone who's so notorious, like such a historical figure, is hanged in a public setting, people want a souvenir. So he's slowly hanging to death, and people who lived in the castle are cutting off pieces of him as souvenirs.
Oh!
So they cut off like fingers, they cut off his ear, they cut off his balls.
Oh my God.
Who went in and said, you know what? I'm going to take those fucking
want-
berries right there. That's my souvenir.
Balls of steel to kill all those
Yeah.
people.
He must have had big brass balls though, man. Yes. So they
People were weird back
he
then.
Died
You know what it takes to sell real estate?
Yeah.
John Sage's balls.
I feel like, we talked about like ghosts bring down the value of a property. I feel like the guy who bought this in the 1980s real fucking cheap. Bought it for a song. So much death.
Like 10 pounds. Yeah. That's it.
So they say that they will, and in nighttime, they will start to hear like disembodied screaming in the middle of the courtyard from all the people who were burned to death.
Sure.
They say that they will hear like children screaming in the room where all the children were murdered. And the best, I think, multiple sightings of the decimated corpse of John Sage, who has all these fucking pieces of him missing, walking around the torture chamber, keeping people out. So if you try and come into the torture chamber he doesn't want you there, this crazy ballless ghost who's had his fucking fingers cut off is coming for you. I turn around, I fucking run. I say, no thank you. You get a bad review on TripAdvisor. I do not come back.
He's like a dude that lost his contact lens. Like he's keeping it. Don't anybody step in here. Yeah. My balls are gone.
Yeah. So that is what makes it. They say that this story of all this torture and all this death, so much death in this one specific location, has made it, they claim, one of the most haunted castles in Britain. The amount of stories that you can pull that are all similar but different are astounding. Wow. It happens a lot. People see the blue boy all the time. People feel the sad lady, the tortured lady all the time. People hear the disembodied screaming all the time. The ghosts of John Sage sighting are not as common, but I'm just like, I wonder if it's because it happens to people and then they're like, I don't even want to fucking talk about it.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine what that would be like to have the ghost of a man who's just evil incarnate, just evil made flesh, dead, pieces of him cut off, so now he's really pissed.
Especially his balls.
I mean, extra super double plus
just
mad.
Fucking coming for you when you're trying to look at his torture chamber.
This is my stuff. Don't come in here and look at my stuff.
A man who has a propensity for temper tantrums.
Yes. Yeah. Temper tantrums that kill hundreds of people at a go, including children. Because it would not be a Booze and Brews podcast unless there were murdered children.
Oh my God.
I have several murdered children, I'm just saying.
Several hundred. Jesus.
Yeah, a lot of it. So that is the story of Chillingham Castle.
Yay!
Which you can go to visit. You can stay there. You can go to the restaurant. You can get married there, and ghosts will come apparently. So
and they'll be so happy for you. So happy.
Which brings
up
me
there, kiss the bride. Has anybody seen me balls?
Oh my God. I was into it. I was just like, I would get married in this haunted fucking castle. That seems amazing.
Yeah.
Not if John Sage might show up.
Yeah.
I like ghosts. That would ruin it.
I don't want a
like you
ballless,
see him in the
fingerless
background of your wedding photos.
Oh my
and stuff
God!
like
Can
that.
you imagine? They only see him in the torture chamber.
Oh.
Don't get married in the torture chamber.
I mean, I feel like, I guess if there was someone who I would marry, they would have to be open to being married in a torture chamber. That does seem like something that I would propose. But I would not do it. I as much as they want to go, I don't even know that I would go into that room. Because I would be so, maybe in like the bright sunniness of the day in the middle of a tour or something, but if I was staying at the castle, wouldn't just wander into that room at night. I would be afraid. That scares the fuck out of me. That's a scary fucking ghost.
Yeah.
No happy ghosts at the wedding.
No.
I don't know why you said there were happy ghosts. Happy ghosts of thousands of 7,000 dead Scots. Just...
They're just so happy you're married.
Yeah. So that brings me to my beer.
Your beer.
My beer. Woohoo.
Which I have destroyed.
Yeah,
it's all gone.
pretty good. Which
Yeah.
I bought this morning. I went to the Vendome, which I have shit talked on this podcast before. I went to the Vendome by my house today because, as I said, Los Angeles is drowning in water.
Yep.
And I can walk to it. And their beer selection has gotten significantly bigger. And there was this very nice hipster gentleman there who helped me pick out the beer. So thank you, Vendome. So this is it's from Coniston Brewery, which is it's in England, and it's called Bluebird Bitter for the Blue Boy. So it's an English old-fashioned ale that's bitter, as the thousands of dead Scots would be, and Bluebird for the Blue Boy. That's my beer, and it smells very like. It smells bitter and like a little bit hoppy and a little bit. It has a really strong palate when you smell it. Its taste is not as robust as I had hoped.
Yeah, that seems to be pretty consistent at least with when we went to the wife and I did go to England, and
Jolly old London.
we went to jolly old London, where I would always like be self-conscious about using my American accent.
Yep.
But
So weird walking up to the bar to order a drink because
Yeah,
it's
you're
like
like-
you walk up and then you go, "Can I have?" and they just kind
I-
of look at you. Because you don't go to like the super touristy type places. You go to like more local
Yeah.
after work.
you get
pubs.
the sideways
for
eyes
sure.
of like, there's an American in our bar.
Yeah, they
But they always have a real strong smell, but then they're very smooth and actually pretty non-offensive.
It's
I
pretty
guess, is
mild.
what-
It's a
yeah.
pretty mild beer. I was just in London. Sorry.
Yeah.
guys, over the Thanksgiving, the 2 weeks over Thanksgiving. And it was right after Donald Trump had been elected president. And I had a bunch of Brits just being like, how's America for you? A little Trumpy? A little too Trumpy for you? I was like, oh, God. Brexit. Leave me
Yeah,
alone.
exactly.
Fucking Brexit.
You
That's
started
what-
this.
Yeah, this is your fault. Really?
So it's funny because in looking at castles, I thought about doing the Tower of London, which is in the White Castle. It's in the middle of London. It is supposed to be a haunted castle. Having been to that castle personally, it was not that scary.
No.
So
No.
I picked the torture castle of death,
Which is
called Chillingham.
Fucking mess.
And I think you made a great choice.
Yeah, I
This
really
is good.
just the torture sings to me. This beer I feel is it's unoffensive.
it's very unoffensive.
It's a very mild beer. It's not that bitter. I was nervous it was going to be too bitter. It's an easy drinking beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does feel like a British beer. I wonder if it had been better if we'd had it room temperature.
It says it is best served at 58 degrees Fahrenheit in a straight pint glass at the Black Bull Inn, Coniston, Cumbria. Okay, fuckers, I'm not gonna go drink your beer
Yeah.
in your shithole little town. I've never been. Hi, I'm sorry, Cumbria.
Hello,
I'm sure you're
Cumbria.
wonderful.
Cumbria.
Come.
Yeah, it's a fine beer. There's nothing offensive about this beer. It
Not at
has a little more flavor than like a domestic pint.
Yeah.
A domestic brew.
But I also feel like by tomorrow I won't remember what it tastes like.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit like tastes like beer.
Yeah.
It kind of just tastes like beer. I loved my story. I don't love this beer as much as I'd hoped I would.
Yeah.
Having first had it. So
Big,
maybe-
large format bottle. Looks old-timey on the label.
Yeah, it is a large format bottle. It's not that large though.
No, it
Right?
is.
Melly stole my bottle of beer, by the way. It's empty. I've taken all the beer out of it. It's
1
useless at this
pint,
point.
0.9 fluid ounces.
There you go.
That's the
Yeah.
exact
Now
size.
you know.
So it's not like most large format bottles that we get here in the States are like the 750. They're like
Yeah.
the size of a wine bottle. This is not. I bought 2 of the large format bottles and poured 3 full glasses of beer. But yeah, so that is from, what's the name of that brewery again? Hand me the bottle that you stole from me, Steeler Mickey. Coniston Brewery, called Bluebird Bitter. Bottle conditioned.
Award winning.
That was 100% on accident.
But it should've been.
And amazing.
It was perfect.
Yeah, that was real good.
Perfect.
That was real good. It says bottle conditioned like 4 times on this label. I don't know what that means.
I think it means that it's been aged in bottle with some kind of
So it's
yeast
been
because
like-
there's some kind
Yeah,
of goobers on the
It does
bottom
say
there.
on the bottle that there you might find
Oh,
like
yeah.
fine sediment of live yeast.
Okay.
That's what that means.
Oh, that's interesting because your beer smells much yeastier than my beer does.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is my story of Chillingham Castle.
Yay.
I'm making big,
Big hand motions.
gestures
Big arms.
and
Big
yellow
arms.
hands. Yes,
Yes.
I'm just like, I'm done with my story. It's your turn, Melly.
Melissa,
Turn.
Hey,
it's your turn.
hey, Melly.
Hey, Vanessa.
Do you want to tell me about a haunted castle?
I kind of really do.
Yay!
Yay! Okay, you guys, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Are you ready for
We're
this?
ready.
So, my castle
I'm
is
switching to your beer and
Yes.
letting my beer get warm.
So, you guys, my castle it's called Houska Castle.
Houska?
Houska.
Like Houska Mouseketeer?
Yeah. Spelled Houska. So
Yeah,
it's
just like Houska Mouseketeer.
Houska. It is in the Czech Republic, and
It's
I'm
the best republic.
It is the best. Bob's making a face. I don't think he likes
Yeah,
it.
it's yeasty, man.
Yeah, that's wild.
It is yeast delicious.
Wow.
Yeah. So Houska Castle is an early Gothic castle built in the mid 1200s. So mine is a smidge younger
Okay.
than your castle.
Mine was a monastery until the like 1250s, 1270s,
Ah,
and then
see.
became a castle and like a military outpost.
Mine-
So first it was just monks and killing witches and putting their entrails on trees.
Gotcha.
And yours is more about like wearing black lipstick and eyeliner
Oh yeah, I'm about
and listening
to
to
tell
heavy
you.
metal.
I'm about to. This is
Get ready for this.
Yeah,
Get
in
ready
the
for
Czech
this.
Republic.
So it's located in a small town. It's about 29 miles north of Prague. So if you're ever going to Prague, you should probably just get in the car, go 30 miles north, go to this place. So the origins of the castle vary. If you go to Wikipedia, they cite this book called Wonders of Bohemia, Moravia, and Silesia. It was published in 2004. So I feel like they have an official story.
That sounds like a book of witchcraft, by the way.
Well, aren't all Eastern Europeans witches and Draculas and
pretty
vampires
much.
and stuff?
And Frankenstein's.
Yeah.
Frankenstein's monster. Frankenstein was the doctor. I know it. Don't send me hate mail. I'm aware.
So in that book, they say the castle was built at the behest of the Emperor Ottokar II.
Oh, the behest. I behest you.
Please.
Build me a castle.
He goes, "Excuse me, I'm going to make him Dracula. I'm not even going to try." But no,
I'm Ottokar Blue.
no,
I behest you build me a castle. One, two castles.
it was meant, according to this book, that it was built to serve as an administration building for which the royal estates in the, well, back then, Czechoslovakia were managed. However...
So they built this as like a fucking office building? They built
So-
a castle office park?
No! That's the thing. I'm calling bullcaca on the origins of this castle because...
Yeah, shenanigans origins.
Oh my God,
I
such
call
shenanigans
on you.
because...
Yeah, you could just build a normal building for that.
Yeah.
You could, but no, instead they build this, castle administration building, but no. According to local legend, that is not the reason why it was built. So
local legend's definitely true.
Oh, sure. Well, think about it. Like, if you go to this castle and you look inside, it's this huge thing, but there's no water source. It's not like a defensive stronghold. It's literally in the middle of fucking nowhere. There's nothing strategic about its placement.
Okay.
There are no windows. So they have windows built, but if you're inside, they're
And
all bricked
no
over
doors.
Which offers you this chilling challenge.
To find a way out.
I could do the entire thing. I
Yeah, me
will not
too.
make you. I could also do the Haunted Mansion Holiday version of it. La 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 la.
So, but yeah, there are no trade routes there. There's no fortifications.
So
it's not like
just
there's
in,
a
like BFE.
It is. It's a BFE castle and like
BFE Czech
But it's actually a
Republic.
castle. It has like
Yeah.
towers.
It
And
has
Well, I mean, they call
Castliness.
it a castle because it was built at, the Ottokar II had it built.
Right.
But they say, I guess in this official story, there's like the official version, which like it's an administration building, even though no one was fucking there for the first couple years that it was built. But if you then actually take a closer look at it, no windows, no water, no fortifications, built in the middle of nowhere. Like, clearly there's another reason that it was built.
Is
and
it
the
near-
reason
is it-
is...
okay.
Yes. Reason. Lay it on me.
It was built to cover the portal to hell.
Yes! Oh, that's a good one.
It's a good one.
That's why you would build it away from water and away from, you would be like, no, it
there's
has
a
to be right
fucking
here.
portal
Yeah.
that leads to hell, and the only way to protect the citizens and the livestock, because it's kind of
They
in
gotta put
farming
a fucking
country.
cork in that bottle, man.
You gotta-
you gotta,
And so,
you gotta plug up that hell.
but think about it, as any good politician or emperor or king or whatever would do, you have to come up with like your cover story, so that way you don't scare any of the other locals.
Gotcha. Like Area 51 is testing planes.
Exactly. It's not housing aliens or other weird shit.
Yeah.
So this one is not covering the portal to hell, but it totally is.
Did he ever live there?
Nobody ever lived there. No royalties. No one ever lived there.
Gotcha. Because it's the fucking portal
Because
to hell.
it's covering the portal to hell.
Oh,
And would
now
you
I-
want to live in a castle whose like fucking basement was hell?
Well, no, but I might be willing to do my job there. Did employees ever work there?
It sounds like yes, there were some people.
But only
that
the employees
came
he
in-
didn't like?
I feel
Yeah,
like
it's
I've
like that's
already
where you-
worked in hell. That's fine.
They would
Anyone ever
come,
had a boring office job? We've
but
all
you
been
wouldn't.
there.
But the thing is, you wouldn't live there. So it's not like you had rooms where people would stay and live. Like it was just a building.
Yeah.
So the reason, so local legend says that there was this bottomless pit, and basically it's a sinkhole, but being in the 1200s, you have a lot of people
It's
that
a
are
really
like,
probably fucking deep, creepy sinkhole.
It
I
is.
get that. That's scary.
so
A sinkhole just opened up like blocks from you.
It's
I
true.
watched it on the news.
It's a portal to
real
hell.
Scary.
Well, yeah. So instead of the water running beneath it like it does in ours, what the locals will see are half human, half animal creatures who fly out of the pit And like you just see them hanging out in the sky, which is why, and all the locals were getting so scared. Plus, if you ventured anywhere near the hole,
Wait, they come out of the hole and fly around.
Wait,
Yeah.
so only
like
flying
think
animals.
the fucking flying monkeys from Wizard of Oz.
So it's like, so you couldn't have like a half human, half like zebra because they can't fly.
It
So we're
was more-
talking like half like.
well, so what I've
What
heard,
are the animals?
Well, so the animals, the stuff that I've read that people will see flying, because this still happens. Like people will see
what
figures flying in the air. It's like human, frog, and a bulldog.
What?
None of those fly.
those,
But they
are
fly.
Weird. That's a
These
weird.
fucking ones fly though.
They're a frog dog. They're
Frog
a flying
dog.
frog dog.
Man,
Flying
frog dog.
Man, frog dog.
It's a bullfrog.
It's a-
Oh wait, a bullfrog is a thing. It's a frog dog.
It's a man frog.
Are there
dog.
any traditional like depictions of demons that look like man frog dog?
I have never heard of a demon
frog
described
demon.
as a frog.
Yeah.
You've seen it like dogs. So, you know, when I first started reading it, I'm like, oh, half creature,
Yeah,
half
exactly.
human. I'm
And
thinking
you
like a
get the,
flying dog.
The like 3-headed dog that guards the
Yeah.
gates of hell, like that kind of a shit.
No.
Yeah, dogs can be
Frog,
evil.
bulldog.
I've seen Pet Cemetery. I've seen Cujo. Dogs can be cranky.
Dogs can be cranky.
Frogs, I mean, maybe don't lick them.
No.
I don't, other than that, I don't know that I'm mad about
I
frogs.
mean, because I've seen, what was the one with the little Disney animated movie? She licked the frog and turned into a frog. Anyway, she kissed him.
She kissed him. I was like, don't
Yeah.
lick frogs. That's like a psychedelic thing.
Oh,
You
yeah.
went like a Princess
You went like a-
Tiana sort
yeah.
of
I did.
thing.
I did. So anyway, people who would get too close to this hole at nighttime would be
Why
captured.
would you ever go close to this hole at nighttime?
Well, if you live nearby, because they say livestock would go missing. So the whole reason the castle was built, because this giant sinkhole portal to hell opened up. You know, locals would be like, what the fuck is this? Kind of go look. And if it happened to be too close to the end of the evening, there's stories that they would be dragged into the bottomless pit. Livestock started disappearing.
I bet
It would
they
go
just
in.
fucking fell.
I bet they
They're
did,
just
but
drunk people
again,
in Czechoslovakia just fucking be like, pit is big, I check out pit, I fall in pit.
I fall in pit, I die.
Like, duh.
So they
That was me falling down the pit. Just wanted to explain that to you in case it didn't read.
So yeah, so that's kind of the story, was like they would claw their way out of the hole in the night, capture livestock, capture people.
Gotcha.
So they were like, something has to be done. So what they decided to do was build a castle over the hole, and specifically have the chapel of the castle cover the hole, because you put something holy on top of something
Got you. They're
demonic.
trying to cancel that shit out.
They're trying to cancel it out. So before or while it was being built, I think this was before construction of the castle began. What they thought was, okay, well, let's actually try to see what's down there. So what do? You obviously take condemned prisoners.
Oh, I was like, you tie a boy to a rope and you lower him into
Yeah,
the
you
sinkhole.
do.
I
It's
always go straight for murdered children, guys.
It's not the children, but it is prisoners.
prisoners. That makes more sense. That's
They
a
are
better idea. Good job, Czechoslovakia.
They were
You're smarter than me. I would have put a kid on a rope.
condemned to die
Billy,
anyway.
what do you see down there? No demons yet, sir. Keep going.
So what
no,
happens?
it's real scary. Pull me back up. I want to go back
So
to
what they said was they would lower the criminals or the prisoners down into the
God,
hole.
how did you like pull the short straw on that fucking job?
Here's the thing: if you manage to make your way out, they
Freedom?
they would
Oh,
completely
God.
absolve you of your sins.
That is the kind of cool shit that we don't do anymore
No.
in justice.
So they're like, you go into this pit, you tell us what's out down there. If you actually manage to come back and tell us what's down there, we will forgive you.
it's just like how we used to have like trial by combat. You could just like murder someone else to prove you weren't a murderer.
Yeah. So
Like,
I never thought about that.
Yeah, that's right.
You killed that guy really good. Clearly, you're not a killer.
obviously God wants you to be free, so head about your murdery ways.
So one of the stories is before construction. So they tied one of the prisoners. They lowered him down there. As soon as he was like out of eyesight, you start hearing him screaming.
I was like, oh, and they only pulled back his top half.
No, so
That would've been so
that would have
good.
been great. No, but they pull him back. They're like, oh shit, he's pulled out. He's still screaming. He is aged 30 years.
What?
He goes down a young man, comes up, gray-haired old man, still screaming. They put him in an insane asylum where he dies of unknown causes 2 days later. Everybody who
Unknown causes. Cause was you dropped him. You fucking like chocolate dipped him into hell.
So that's happened. Like I read there was at least a couple people that had happened to. Where like they lower him in, they start screaming, they go, oh shit, they pull him out. They're now white-haired old men who just scream for 2 days until they die of unknown
Jesus
causes.
That's a legit fucking portal to hell.
So they're like, all right, no, for realsies,
there's
we gotta build this shit.
Or there's something so scary there that they're like in their mind scaring themselves so
But then
much.
it turns your hair gray?
I'm thinking of like Rogue from X-Men. She get the stripes because she went through the really traumatic experience.
I don't think it's X-Men.
Yeah, so they're not X-Men. All right, boo.
But
That's crazy that they did it once and then they went, well, let's try again. And then they did it again and they were like, maybe third time's a charm. Who's the third prisoner who
I'd be like, I
signs
don't wanna do
up
it.
for this?
I'm not doing it.
First guy, I get it. I'm like, I murdered 17 children.
Fool me
come
once,
back.
shame on you.
Yeah.
yeah.
Fool me twice. You ain't gonna fool me again.
Yeah. So they build the castle.
Okay.
So at that time, some of the stories that they heard was that they would hear scratching on the floor of the chapel.
Scratching on the floor from the sinkhole.
From the sinkhole.
God.
Demons trying to claw their way out. So that's kind of some of the stories that have been since they built the castle 800 years ago. That's what they've done. Now, in the 1930s, I don't know if you've heard of a man called Adolf Hitler.
Oh, yeah, Adolf.
Refresh
I have
me.
heard. I think it's pronounced Adolf.
Adolf Hitler
Adolf Hitler.
was the
I have heard of him.
Adolf Hitler.
Hitler was the chancellor of Germany.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, back in the WW2.
WW2 era, overall douchebag.
Yeah, Adolf was not a nice man.
Adolf was a murderer, bit weird, crazy, but also
Oh, super into the occult, man.
Exactly.
Super. I've seen Indiana Jones. I know.
So that is
You
So Indiana Jones kind of partly in that case true. He was huge into the occult
Yeah,
and the
he really
paranormal.
was.
So he sent over like his crack small team of scientists to Houska Castle because back then Czechoslovakia was part of the German,
The German Empire.
at
Yeah.
that point took
I mean, a lot of the world was part
Yeah.
of the German Empire at that point.
Yeah, at that point.
No fault on you, Czechoslovakia. We get it.
So what he was trying to do was harness the powers of hell at the castle to help with his world domination.
Do you know
So he sent scientists there and they did experiments on dimensional portals and other fringe physics
This seems
to
like
try
a
to
comic book.
harness it's fucking Captain America.
Like
Yeah.
Hitler trying to harness the powers of hell just feels like a comic book.
It is. It's called Hellboy.
it's called Hellboy.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It is a mix of Captain America and Hellboy.
Hellboy.
Yeah.
That is what this is.
Red Skull
This is
meets
Captain Hell.
Captain-
Captain or Captain Boy
Captain Boy.
or
Hell Captain.
Hell America.
Hell America, which is kind of accurate right
Captain
now.
Hell America.
Captain Hell America.
So
That's insane.
So whatever
That's
happened
very
there-
much something that our not buddy Adolf would have done.
oh, for sure. And
So did he send German scientists down who
Yeah.
aged 30 years when they came out?
well, no, because there was no. They didn't crack
Because there was
through-
a chapel there.
There was a chapel there.
So
they
they
didn't crack
didn't-
through
they didn't
the wall.
crack a hole in the floor?
No, but because they
Would
heard,
you built a fucking castle
Look-
on
Oh, no.
top of it.
Yeah.
Look, if Adolf Hitler is my boss and says, I want to
Hitler,
harness...
Adolf Hitler.
Hitler.
I'm changing that now.
But no, it was just dimensional
Adolf Hitler.
portals. So no, he didn't want to he wanted to do these experiments on the portals. So he was just taking, okay, if this is
Oh.
actually a portal to hell, we don't need to crack through the floor and fall to our death.
Yeah,
so it
maybe
was
there's
just
enough
doing
hell just
experiments.
hanging around in the atmospheric pressure.
Right.
Exactly,
And
and they-
just loose hell, just like little pieces of hell.
He wasn't
everywhere.
trying to pull shit out of it. He was just like, what's...
Well, and because this whole time too, people are still seeing those fucking black flying creatures coming from the castle.
The dog frogs.
The dog
flying
frogs.
dog frogs.
Yeah, so I've been going through the
clearly-
72 demons of Solomon here, and I can't find anything that looks like a demon dog frog man.
Yeah.
So it's pretty
Well, I will say though, all of our myth is like based on what people think they see. That doesn't mean that that's what's actually in hell.
Right.
Maybe what's in hell is fucking dog frogs.
Maybe that's him.
That looks like a lemur.
Oh yeah, that you're right. You're
It's-
right.
That
It
is
looks
like,
like
a
a flying
demonic lemur.
demonic flying monkey from the Wizard of Oz.
I'm from hell. I'm a lemur.
I think if that's what came out of the portal, I don't know that Adolf Hitler would be particularly interested in. I'm from hell.
I kill you with cuteness. It's like Gremlins, right? It's
Yes.
like Gremlins.
Don't
Kill
get
him with
wet.
kindness.
Kill 'em with kindness.
The demonic lemurs, you just don't feed them after midnight. It's
Yeah.
don't get them
It's
wet.
totally fine.
It's like they have those huge eyes. They're so adorable.
They have the little masks on like they are burglars.
But all he stole was my heart.
He stole it so far away. I've named him Bubbles the lemur. Bubbles the demonic lemur.
So whatever ended up
Eva,
happening.
look what I brought for you. It is a demonic lemur.
Lima, he came out of the hole. So whatever happened there, we don't really know, just because obviously they're not going to keep a lot of documentation on what fucking crazy
Oh my God, I would
psycho experiments. But
Document the shit out of that. They just burned it all up.
Oh,
in
yeah.
the courtyard, they found the executed bodies of 3 German soldiers. So the German soldiers who were sent there probably to protect and guard the scientists while they were doing their experiments were executed for whatever they saw, so they wouldn't report back, and they were buried in the courtyard.
Were they killed
dead
by
men
the
tell-
Germans?
They were killed by the
dead
German-
men tell no tales.
That's right. Have you seen Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah.
I have.
So that's what happened. So to prevent them from talking, they were executed in the courtyard and buried in the courtyard.
They saw some shit.
They must have seen some
And
weird
then they
shit.
fucking died. That's some fucking Nazi shit right there.
Yep.
Killing your own men because they did a good job on the job you sent them to do. Excellent work. 2 in the head.
Yeah, right? God. So
They sent us over here. We got Adolf Hitler, his adorable lemur, and then he just killed everybody.
so
We went on a pet expedition.
My job review came back all excellent. I don't know why they murdered me.
you just have like weird, German just marching,
I
being
said,
like,
I got all excellent, 1 great. I don't know how
I don't
could have
think-
done. It seems like I did as good as I could.
They said if you have all 3s, that means you're doing as good as you. You're just not ready for promotion.
That doesn't mean I'm going to get murdered.
All the ghosts are comparing their annual reviews. What did you get?
I don't want to tell me. What did you get? You go first.
No, you go first.
How
was your
how
raise?
much money do you make?
Did
wait,
you-
wait, on the count of 3, let's say. 1, 2, 3. Nothing.
I got this 3% raise.
Oh, they don't pay me. They just pay me in demonic lemurs.
Actually, I'd probably take that.
You could make that lemur do
One
some shit.
demonic lemur. Or that, no, a demonic lemur? That lemur's gonna make you do some shit. I don't know. Look, I know myself pretty well. I don't think I could best a demonic lemur. I'd just be like, I fought a good
what if
fight. I fought.
No, but what if I brought him like, like animals and stuff to like, because they crave blood. So why don't I just bring them like creatures and I'd be like, I feed you.
I couldn't
bring
do
you
that,
blood.
though. Eat this adorable bunny.
You love me. Don't kill me.
Don't eat my soul, demonic lemur.
I won't kill you
I brought
if you
you-
bring me the blood of an infant.
Done.
Yeah, that's fine.
And
So
he was,
much
and they
murder
were fucking
children.
Nazis back then. They didn't care about shit.
Yeah, they were
No.
like, oh, Jewish children? They aren't real people.
They're not real people.
That's all they were. I'm not going to go down this
No.
road. I'm not going down this road. It got dark.
So what does that mean for today's hauntings?
Yes, so this castle still stands.
The castle still stands.
After Hitler left, what happened? Do we know? Like, it changed
So-
hands? Was the Czech Republic like, sorry about that Hitler stuff? Mulligan on the Adolf Hitler stuff.
It kind of passed between like royalty, politicians in 1823, but then I think when the war came, they just took it.
Yeah. Oh, that's what they did, though.
Yeah. But then after that, I don't know who owns it. I think it might be owned by the government.
The devil. The devil owns it.
Yeah.
Satan.
The government thinks they own it. No.
No, they don't.
Or the
Satan
government-
owns the government.
Yeah.
Or Satan is the government.
Yeah.
You believe Alex Jones?
God.
Gay shrimp.
Gay shrimp committed suicide.
So
Black helicopters.
people can still go there, tour today. In fact, there have been a ton of paranormal investigations done there.
I would bet. If you told me it was a portal to hell, I'm like, I'm going to bring a camera and
Yeah.
see what I can
Ghost
see.
Hunters International went and did an
Yeah.
episode at the castle.
Yeah, of course they did.
And so you can go. I don't think you can spend the night, but they do have the.
I don't know that I'd
general
want to spend the
tours.
night
Yeah.
in the portal to hell.
But some of the things that people will see, they describe a chorus of screams coming
a chorus.
coming
Like
from
the Mormon Tabernacle Choir of
Only of
torturous
hell.
death.
of death.
Yeah.
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 They hear that shockingly
Let go of my balls.
in the chapel where the portal is being
Oh,
covered.
yeah.
So it could be
Yeah, that's probably more like what the...
Well, it could also be a dolphin? Demon dolphin.
I'm a demonic dolphin. I don't know what that is, guys.
So, but it could be the demons that are trying to escape, but then it could also be the screams of those who were sucked into the portal, who were captured by the bullfrogs.
The man-dog frogs.
Dog frogs.
Man-dog
The man-dog
frogs.
frogs. I like to think it is all these demons who have come up to try to get out of hell into the world.
Mm-hmm.
They've hit the bottom of this church. They've all just hung out. They're bored now. They've started a barbershop quartet. There are a chorus of screams, and they're just hanging out.
They're called the B-flats.
B-flats. Because they hit their head on the stone floor.
They'll call them the horny devils.
The horny
And
devils.
They just...
So, also dogs tend to act weird. That was one of the things that I saw when I watched the episode of Ghost Hunters International.
Because
Was
they were like, I don't want to be a dog frog ghost thing.
so
A
because
demon thing.
and you know, dogs and animals, they tend to be able to sense things that humans don't.
Yeah.
You know, we've had a couple friends whose dogs have gone crazy just like barking at a corner because there's
Yeah.
something in that
Oh
corner.
yeah, when my cat does the weird like, I'm just gonna stare at something directly above your head, like really intently for 4 minutes. I'm just like, fucking stop it, dude.
Yeah.
What is not cool?
Yeah.
I think she's just fucking with me, and it works every goddamn time.
So dogs will tend to act really crazy, like they start behaving in a manner not like themselves, and they go to this part of the courtyard, and they just start barking at the corner of the courtyard, which could be where the Germans,
German soldiers are buried.
Yeah.
yeah, and two, you know, nice. It also could be, you know, kind of leading downwards, hell creatures. So the dogs tend to start acting a bit weird. Caretakers of the castle. So the current owner of the castle. So I guess it's not government owned because there's a current owner. So some dude, we're
Yeah.
going to call him Joe Czech Republic.
Yeah, we'll call him Checker Joe.
Checker Joe. So Checker Joe had his
Seen some shit,
He
I'm
has seen
sure.
some shit.
so one of the stories that was on Ghost Hunters, which I kind of love. So he and his buddies were like just sitting in where like the bar area or the restaurant area or wherever, like they were just around a table. They all had their pints on the table, and his pint,
Oh, just like us, guys.
just like us, but his pint lifted up and started levitating and moving, and everybody at the table fucking saw this.
That
And he-
ghost tried to steal his beer.
It did. He took the beer
You
from
re-murder
the ghost.
You re-murder that ghost. You don't steal my beer, ghost.
Yeah.
He took the beer from the ghost, set it back down on the table, like kind of what the fuck, and then the beer started moving toward the middle of the table.
Yeah.
Like whomever wanted
Thirsty German ghosts.
Yeah.
thirsty German ghosts. Other people have also seen the a headless spirit stumbling through the courtyard with blood gushing from his decapitated head.
Jeez.
There is no stories. They do not know the origins of this particular ghost, but they have seen, multiple people have seen the decapitated, stumbling ghost with fucking blood gushing out of the hole in his head.
Out of his neck hole.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, does he get very far without him?
I mean, he stumbles around the courtyard, so you think he just kind of keeps
Is he,
running
like-
into the wall.
Is he like running a 5K? What's he doing without his head?
He's not going very far.
No. He's
And
just
then-
like looking for his head?
I mean, wouldn't you be like, hey, buddies, it's really dark now. I can't see.
You don't have eyes.
I don't have eyes. No eyes.
No eyes.
Oh, no, he's not German because they only got popped in the back of the head. They
Yeah.
were executed, not heads chopped off. But yeah, so
And he can't tell you. He's got no head.
He's got
Probably
no
doesn't
mouth.
know sign language.
Yeah, every story that I've
He's
that I've
like
seen,
Pictionary. Ready? Go.
Go.
Ghost Pictionary.
head.
A fish called Wanda. No? Is that
No.
not what you're trying to draw?
The birdcage.
Yes.
There it is.
And then finally, the last story is that of these two people who were in the hunting lodge of the castle. Mm-hmm. In the dark, they hear this loud thump, and they go, "What the fuck is that?" So they light a
Why would
candle.
you go hunting around the portal to hell? Like that, I don't want to eat whatever you catch.
Well, you think about it; it's kind of covered.
I heard
You're
they
thinking,
had
okay,
man-dog
we're
frogs
safe,
out there. The most dangerous game.
right? Maybe they were hunting
Man-dog frogs.
Man-dog
I mean,
frogs.
I get it. Like if like fucking Predator came down, did this weird little clicky, like red-
Location
device.
Yeah,
Noise.
yes, it did those little clickety noises and did this like heat vision thing. I get why he would hunt there. No, I'm good.
So they were there. They hear this loud thump. They light a candle because there's no, I don't know if there's electricity, but whatever the nearest light that they had was a candle. They lit a candle and they see this human-like shadow figure hovering above them. whispering about killing young girls. So they saw one of the demons in that hunting lodge hovering.
Just being like, I gotta give me some of that 13-year-old poon.
Yeah.
I gotta murder it. Murder
gotta
it so
slay it.
good.
Murdered that pussy.
I'm gonna murder that pussy. I'm gonna murder it so good.
So good. So illegal. So, yeah, needless to
Not
say,
for demons.
they ran the fuck out of that room.
I feel like if I saw a weird demon thing floating in a corner, muttering about killing children. You know what's funny is I immediately just picture Robert Durst being like, they killed them all, of course. Like, obviously.
Obviously, I killed them all.
Like, it's just the ghost of Robert Durst in the corner.
So when I got my jury summons, true story, I was scared to death that would be the fucking jury that I would be called to serve on.
Oh my
bet.
God! If you got on the Durst trial, I would have been like, "Hello, I'm Melissa Quinn. I will go
I
to
will
jury
go
duty
every
for
day."
you. I'm
Yeah.
gonna write a book. I'm gonna be a millionaire."
Well, the problem is they ask you the question, have you heard this case? Like, oh, extensively.
Nope, never heard. Robert who? Robert Burst? I don't know. Who is that? I don't watch the television.
I don't know nothing
have
about
the
nothing.
hubbos.
Is that the Limp Biscuit fella?
I know Limp Bizkit.
I heard he did it for the nookie.
All for the nookie.
Come on.
You
Yeah.
can take that cookie, you stick it right up your ass.
Yeah. So everybody,
That is the biggest shout out that Limp Bizkit has
Has
got
ever
in
gotten.
the last 15 years.
maybe ever. You know what? I'm gonna go with ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, kids, that was the story of Houska Castle.
That's Houska Castle that's pretty creepy.
Yeah, that's
'cause
strong.
I also feel like I'm not a structural engineer. I also on this
feel like it's
podcast
not-
say how I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, I'm not also not a structural
we're
engineer.
not engineers.
What I am is nothing, 0 jobs. I feel like if there's a sinkhole and you build a building on top of it, might the building just fall into the sinkhole?
At some point,
If it's
You would imagine.
if it's a legitimate sinkhole, and this has been here for hundreds of years,
Yeah.
so maybe not a normal sinkhole. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
it's a portal to hell.
Yeah.
Dog, frog, human, flying things aside.
No. Yeah, because you would think that it would grow, or that you would need some sort of support, right? Like you can't just pour fucking
No.
concrete
Well,
over
'cause I
that.
feel like
No,
you
no, no.
would go
It's
to
just the hell energy is actually holding up
It
the
is
building.
It is just covered in like a foamy,
Waiting.
like bottom of helly goodness, just
Yeah.
like a cream filling of hell,
just
like
waiting to come up.
Yeah.
They're just waiting for that
it's
first crack in
delicious.
the foundation, and then
That's
it's
what-
just
But there
gonna-
are some side effects.
There are. It's delicious, but man, it goes right to your hips. Delicious foamy hell.
So that brings me to my beer.
Yes.
My beer is the Belzebuth.
Oh, that's cute.
Look at the fucking
That's
cute,
cute.
little devil on
It's-
the bottle.
This is probably the cutest bottle we've had thus far.
It's a matte black.
It's a matte black
It is a
bottle.
matte black, completely opaque bottle.
Yep.
With the caricature of a tiny little boy devil.
Yeah, with a pitchfork. And it's called Belzebuth. It is it's a blonde.
That's
according
about
to
all we
this-
knew about it.
Does not taste like a blonde.
Yeah.
8.5.
Did you help her pick this?
No, I had nothing to do with it,
The
actually.
young man from Vendome. So we walked in.
I got real cranky.
You did?
No,
You were
I
about
feel
to get-
about that.
So we walked into the Vendome this morning, and I was just looking.
I wanted her to
for-
pick a different one, actually.
I was looking at like more Satan themed, or because I figured that was the way I was gonna go. I was gonna have something
She
Satan
walked
or
in,
something
she's like,
hell.
"Do you have any Satan-themed beers?"
guy
The guy was
ordered
like, and he was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, well, because he's on the other side of the aisle, and he goes, "You're looking for like a devil themed thing?" And he comes by with 2 bottles
Yeah.
of beer, and
Yeah.
I'm like, "Okay."
I will say, when you get a good beer guy, I went to, so this Vendome today, gentleman, very helpful. And then I went to the Bevmo in Brentwood before, also very helpful. When you tell them, like, look, I have a podcast.
Yep.
It's about beer and ghosts. My ghost story this week is about headless monks. Do you have a monk beer that's really good? And they're like, I have options for you. Like they're when they're helpful, they're really helpful.
'Cause this guy-
it can be overwhelming when you're just looking at
beer, just walls of beers.
10,000 beers, and you go, I don't know which one is good. I don't know.
So this guy was like, "Yeah, no, they're great." And I explained the podcast. He goes, "Oh, that sounds pretty cool. Yeah, here's like a couple devil demon things."
Yeah, that's a real cool bottle.
And he picked this one. He says, so it's it's French. It's from France.
En français.
It's a specialty golden ale. It's 8.5% alcohol by volume. So you
Oh,
get good and fucked up.
Yeah. I don't remember. I'm like now looking back at mine to be like, does it even say? Mine's only 4.2.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Oh, mine's real mild.
That's a nice porch pounder.
Yeah.
So this guy says that they're such a specialty. I guess the owner of this particular brewery just does not care about profits. He just wants
It's
to
a real
make a
small
beer that he
family
likes.
operation. he was
Oh
saying.
wow.
So
a
even
small
though-
family of devils.
Yeah.
Little devils. And so even though they sell it in normal beer-sized bottles, they do not have 4-packs, 6-packs, or anything. You buy them by the each,
Interesting.
like a banana at Target. Because the sign says banana by the each, and it's like 15 cents. So yeah, there you have it. So it is a very strong blonde, the strongest blonde ale.
Yeah, I would not
that
call
I've
it a
had.
blonde. It
Yeah.
does not look blonde. It definitely leans more towards a lighter amber color.
Yeah.
It also, I'm not gonna lie, this is not my favorite beer.
No.
It
it's
smells so yeasty.
Yeah,
it
it's
smells
crazy.
like I am fermenting bread
Yeah.
in my glass.
You know, I'm going to blame the importer because it's out of Jupiter, Florida. And I feel
Oh.
like that's where everything goes.
First, they have to
tits
shoot
up.
it into space. They have to get it back from Jupiter.
Then you go to Florida, and who the fuck wants to
then
do
an
that?
alligator
Yeah.
pisses in it. You don't know.
You don't know.
It's not terrible. It's not my favorite. Its smell is much more yeasty than the taste
Then the
is.
taste, yeah.
I like the first couple sips when it was really heady on top, and it was just like I feel like I'm eating raw dough. Like I
Yeah.
feel like I've made
Yeah.
bread, it's rising, and I'm just trying to eat it when it's super yeasty.
Yeah.
I also feel like it's going to make us crazy burpy.
Oh,
Yeah, I
I've
agree with
for the
that as
rest
well.
of the night. All that yeast is just making bubbles in my tummy.
So yeah, I'm glad I picked it because he's in his little.
He's
devil.
an adorable little devil baby.
And there's
think
this
that-
little-
I think that there's little flames along the bottom.
But the taste, not my favorite.
I think that is the cutest bottle
I know.
we have had thus far. That's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
real good bottle.
Well, the
It's
French are
not-
good for cute things.
It's not the best beer we've had thus far.
No, absolutely not even
yeah.
close.
I feel like the beers we had this week they're both fine. Neither one of them are like I'm not going to seek this beer out again.
Yeah.
I'm never going to
Agreed.
drink either of these
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. I feel like if someone said, "Look how cute this little bottle is," I would be like, "Oh, that's the beer that tastes like bread." I'm going to say no to that.
I'm gonna pass.
I'm good.
Like,
I've
this
had it.
one-
I'm good.
Your beer is one of those where this is the only option you have. All right, yeah, I'll get drunk off of that. I'm just going to need 7 of them.
Yeah, my beer's
Yeah.
like a solid porch pounder.
Yeah.
My beer
Yeah.
like smells like it's full of flavor, but it's real mild. You just drink 9 of them. Like it's
Yeah.
fine. I could not drink 9 of yours. I have an
No.
entire bread factory in my tummy
Yeah.
right now from this one I've had.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So that brings us to you, Engineer Bob.
Well, I'm having a tough time right now because
Bullshit.
this
I already
beer
know you're
is,
going to pick my dumb
No.
friend.
This beer is not my favorite.
I think
but Nazi Portal to Hell
Yeah.
does hit a soft spot of
Here's
mine.
the problem. We all know you pick by beer.
That's not true.
I will say, as a casual observer to this, Bob and Melly have a soft spot in their hearts for Nazis because at their wedding, of
my
which
God,
I was a
Oh, we're gonna
bridesmaid,
go. Yeah.
the priest.
He was a
uh,
former Catholic priest.
religious man
Yes.
who was officiating told a story about the Nazis
Yep.
in the middle of their wedding ceremony.
Yep.
So much so that in the middle of the ceremony, I turned to another bridesmaid and said, "Is he talking about Nazis?"
And then-
he did not clear that story with us,
no,
by the
he
way.
did not. And then
Real
also,
weird.
2 Jewish groomsmen
Yes.
who really appreciated that.
He also
I'm
wanted
sure.
to have everybody reach their hand out like the fucking...
That's a Catholic thing, though.
yeah.
There's a
He-
there's
We
a
put
weird,
the kibosh on that shit,
He did.
though.
He's like,
He wanted
there's a
everyone to heil
Hitler.
Melissa and Bob in the middle of the ceremony while talking about Nazis.
We did. We were
So-
at a Denny's when we said no.
So Melissa and Bob have a soft spot for Nazis. It reminds them of their love. I get that. I'm not saying
No.
they love Nazis.
I hate
I'm saying
Nazis.
their love is based on
On
Nazism.
Nazis.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
This is why Breitbart's the best fucking website
Yeah.
there
So
is.
much. I
So-
got all of this from Breitbart.
All of
Donald
it.
Trump will read it live on air.
It's fine.
Totally true.
Yeah.
So we've got Nazi Portal to Hell and a beer I don't love, and then we have
A beer that's
a
tolerable.
woman who was sexed to death
Yes.
with a beer that is pretty tolerable.
Yes, I feel like 3 solid ghosts and then torture story extraordinaire.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
3 solid ghosts, Blue Boy.
I mean, we all know I'm a horrible storyteller and I'm a bad beer picker, so we all know who's
this
going to
beer-
win this
You know what's
one.
funny? Both of us this week, we went off the recommendations of others. Neither one of us had tried either of these beers before we bought them. I was leaning towards making you guys just drink Boddingtons,
That would have been
Which is
okay.
That would've
like
been fine.
Old Speckled Hen, which is a really good British
I would have been
beer.
okay with that too.
Yeah, so I got talked into this one, and I loved it because of the
blue.
Bluebird, the Blue Boy.
Yeah.
I thought this is a good tie-in.
Yeah.
I wish I had gone with Old Speckled Hen. It has more flavor.
The other one, the one that I was not talked out of, but the other option that I had was a cherry flavored beer that's aged in bourbon barrels. But he
Yeah.
said it was a very strong flavor, which is actually what prompted me to pick this one.
Oh, interesting.
Because I didn't want something so strong.
I feel like we kind of both chose wrong this week.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Anyway,
Engineer Bob. Engineer
as
Bob
we both
has
are like,
been-
we both failed.
Yes, has been. I think we both had solid stories and sort of middling beers. So Engineer Bob has plugged everything into his figure out machine. His figure outerator.
His brain computer.
I'm gonna have to go with Nazi Portal to Hell.
Holy shit!
You have to understand. Yeah, I'm a
I
huge.
got the crazy torture man.
I know.
7,000 dead Scots.
It's strong,
Nazis.
but I'm a huge Hellboy fan, which you didn't
Hellboy.
factor in
Hellboy.
to your
Hellboy.
calculations.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did. Like in reading all these things about all the castles, and Melly was like, "I picked this one," and I was just like, "Oh, she picked the Portal to Hell one." Of
course I did!
because that feels like a really solid choice.
Yeah.
I get why you picked
Oh,
that one.
scratching in the bottom of the
Yeah,
fucking
I get
chapel?
it.
No, thank you.
I feel like this week, really solid ghost stories.
Yeah.
Both of these castles sound crazy haunted as fuck.
Yeah.
Which is why we're talking about doing Haunted Castles Part 2. Because this was the one that spoke to us specifically the most this week.
Yep.
There's a bunch of great Haunted Castle stories.
Tons and tons and tons and
Yeah.
tons. I thought I got a fancy text on my thing, but I didn't. I think my
No.
phone just ghosted on me.
Oh, ghost phone.
So anyway, that was this
All right,
wonderful
so
episode
Melly
of
wins,
Boozies and Bruisies.
Which, by the way,
Ties
this
us.
is episode 6. We're now at a tie again.
Trey.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Maybe that's what Engineer Bob is doing. He doesn't want either one of us to feel bad. It's like everyone gets a participation trophy.
I get a
and
gold star.
I'm gonna go back and forth and pick and make sure that this is even.
pick. And then, but you guys are never
It's a sliding scale, you guys. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So, please
Oh, that's right. We have the socials. We wanted to tell
follow
you guys
us
about.
on the various forms of social media that we have.
we did
continue to listen to us. We will come back next week with our wonderful Hollywood haunted stories
Yes.
in love of the Oscars.
Yes, in Ready for the Oscars for sure.
So follow us.
Yes.
Tell us how to get in touch with us.
Vanessa?
Yeah. Okay.
How do
so
you get in touch with us?
You can email us at Booze and Brews Podcast. That's Booze and Brews, both plural, no apostrophes, the word and, at gmail.com. If you have a personal ghost story, if you have ever been haunted, or you have a friend that was haunted, or a family member that was haunted, you want to share that story with us,
Please.
we would love to hear it.
I want to hear
We're
this.
about it. You can follow us on Instagram at Booze and Brews Podcast. That is our handle. You can follow us on Facebook at Booze and Brews.
Mm-hmm.
And then we are now available on iTunes and Stitcher.
Yep.
So please rate, review, subscribe, listen in, tell your friends. We love doing this, and we would love to keep doing it for you. If you want to hear us get a little bit tipsy and tell each other ghost stories.
Yeah, because I'm like 60% there. Another one of those beers, and I'm like, hey guys, I'll show you my boobs. No, I won't.
I have my own boobs. I'm good.
Boobs. Anyway.
Boob showing.
Boob showing.
So yeah, thanks everybody. And please, again, listen
Yes.
to us next week.
Yeah, so we'll be back next week with Haunted Hollywood.
Bye.
Bye-bye.